Hi, this is going to be an advanced level class, and today's focus is going to be on the upper body, both opening and strengthening. As always, honor your body and what you need. If that means slowing down, skipping a pose, do what you need to do. We will need a couple of different props for this class. We'll be using a strap, or you can also use a towel. And then I would grab 1 or 2 blocks. If you don't have that, you can always use a stack of books later on. So let's go ahead, find a comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged, on the heels, or maybe even in a chair. And always an option to take a blanket, slide it underneath the hips, and that's going to help elevate the hips and reduce some of that rounding in the lower back. Once you're there, relax the hands onto the knees, and then soften in the shoulders, and close your eyes or soften the gaze. And just take a few moments here. Just starting to turn your practice inward, shifting your attention away from the outside world. And just slowing down, letting go of any to-do lists, letting go of any conversations that happened today or yesterday. And just give yourself this time on your mat. Take a couple rounds of full, deep belly breaths. On the inhales, filling up from the belly. And on the exhales, emptying completely. Inhales, breathing in fresh, new energy. Exhales, letting go of anything stale, anything not serving you. Just take about 5 more rounds of breath to arrive on your mat. And then start to bring some movement into the body, the shoulders up and down the back a couple times. Starting with some gentle movement. And in these first moments of class, really noticing what's going on in the body. Switch out the direction, go from the back to the front. Every practice will be a little different. And so taking time to really establish what you need from today's practice. And then soften the shoulders down the back. Drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Just come through center over towards the left. Go side to side a couple times, releasing stress and tension that's built up. So some days may call for easing back, and some days may call for stepping outside of your comfort zone, or somewhere in between. Pause on the right side. Take the right hand on top of the head without pulling, just use it as a gentle weight, and then reach the left fingertips down and out. Creating length and space along the left side of the neck. Maybe dropping the chin down or sending the chin up, finding a spot of resistance. Gently release and switch it out, coming through center and over towards the left. Left hand on top of the head without using any force, just helping to deepen the stretch. And then right fingertips down and out. Relax the right shoulder even further. Once again, maybe moving the chin down or up. And breathe into it. And then gently release and just go side to side a few more times. If it feels safe and okay, do a full circle one time in either direction. Come back to center, sitting tall, blink the eyes open. And then take the hands, interlace them, and start to find some figure eights. So bringing some movement into the hands and the wrist. Oftentimes we're busy typing, texting, and we forget to give them attention. And just switch out the direction. And then come back to center. Take the palms facing forward. Start to press the hands forward, keeping them interlaced. The shoulders draw down and back. Energy in the arms. Take another breath or two here. And then start to reach the arms up overhead. Keep the shoulders soft, heart lifted. And then gently release, open the arms up and release them down. Now taking the left hand to the right knee, seated twist, right fingertips lightly behind you. On the inhale, lengthen, and on the exhale, gently twisting. Keeping the spine long, crown of the head reaching towards the sky. If it's in your practice, maybe gently drawing the chin a little further back. And release, switch it out. Right hand to left knee, left fingertips lightly behind you. Grow tall first, and then gently twisting from the torso. Keep both hips heavy on the ground. Maybe walking the chin back if that feels safe and okay. Always honoring your edge, not pushing past it. And then slowly come back to center, sit tall. Now take a hold of your strap. And I like to have it about doubled. And then take it a little wider than the shoulders. You may need to play around depending on how tight or open your shoulders are. So a nice firm grasp, arms straight out, and then start to lift the arms up, beginning to bring them overhead and keeping the shoulders down, feeling that energy open across the chest. And then start to draw the strap up and over towards the right. Nice side body stretch, keep the left hip heavy. Drawing back to center. And then up and over towards the left. Finding length along the right side body. Come back to center. And then drawing the arms back down to shoulder height. Pause there. Keep the shoulders back. And once again, just draw the strap up overhead. Hold here, feel opening across the chest. And then slowly lower back down to shoulder height. Just 2 more, nice and slow, moving with control. If you need to widen the distance between the hands, I need a little bit more space for the body. Let's do one more time and just hold here, shoulders down, heart lifted. Maybe you go a tiny bit further back. Take another round of breath. And then gently release. And just take the strap. You can place it over to the side. We're gonna find eagle arms today, so we'll be using them later on in class. So just bringing them in while we're in a seated, comfortable position. Start by taking the right arm across and the left arm drawing underneath. Now layer 1, just reach the hands towards the shoulders. And then lifting the elbows up to shoulder height. So this is layer 1, you can stay there. Now if you want something a little bit more intensity, so the right arm is crossed over the left, and then start to wrap at the forearms as well. And then the palms come to touch. And then drawing the elbows up. So choosing your layer. And just take a few rounds of breath here. Feel the opening across the back. Keeping the spine long and the heart lifted. Take one more round of breath. And then gently release. Sweep the arms out and up. And then palms touch, hands come into heart center. Draw the energy in and just pause here for a moment. Pressing the palms together, keeping the arms active and strong. Let's take a breath in. And a cleansing breath out. Beautiful. Open the arms back up and moving into the second side. This time cross the left arm over and then the right arm underneath. So left arm is on top. Once again, layer 1, reach for the shoulders and then start to lift the elbows up. Now, if you want to move a little further, then crossing at the forearms, palms come to touch, and then draw the elbows up to shoulder height. So just remember that one layer isn't better than the other. And it's really about finding that place where you're going to get the most benefits in your practice. Take a couple more rounds of breath. And then gently unwind. Sweep the arms up and overhead. And then hands draw into heart center. Pause here. Press the palms together. Let's take a breath in. And breath out. Releasing the hands down to the knees and close the eyes or soften the gaze. Finding some seated torso circles. So on the inhales, beginning to reach the chest forward. And then on the exhales, holding on to the knees, gently rounding back. And just starting to loosen up in the upper body. The circles can be as small or as big as you want. And just turning your attention inward. Notice how it feels in your body. And then pause in center and just switch out the direction, balancing out the body. Inhales, reaching forward. And exhales, rounding back. Finishing up your last round. And then come back to center, sit tall. Blink the eyes open if they're closed. We're going to move into tabletop position, coming on to the hands and knees. Now you can always place a blanket or some knee padding underneath the knees or even the hands. And just spread the fingers wide, shoulders stacking over your wrist, hips stacking over your knees, tops of the feet on the ground. Cat-cow, inhale, drop the belly, roll the heart forward, gaze up. And exhale, cat, press the earth around the spine, gaze towards the belly. On the inhales, cow pose, the heart pulls through the shoulders, the tailbone lifts. And on the exhales, cat, rounding the spine, arching like a scared cat. Continue at your own pace. Connect breath and movement. And this is a great time just to explore the body. So you might start finding figure eights and just finding some movement that feels good. Whatever is calling out to you, and it may be continuing with cat-cow. So just take a few more rounds of breath here. About 2 more rounds of breath. Come back to center, find a neutral spine, a flat back. We're going to thread the needle. So this is a stretch for the shoulders, the tricep. Now you'll be bringing the shoulder down towards the ground. If that doesn't quite work for today, I just recommend coming into seated and crossing the right arm over first, using the left arm to draw it closer in, and then switching for the second side. Otherwise, coming into thread the needle, root down through the left hand, and then reach the right arm up, open up the chest towards the right. And then you're going to take the right arm, sweep it down and underneath, bring the right ear and shoulder to the mat. So the back of the right hand is touching the ground. You can extend the left fingertips forward. And just take a few rounds of breath here. Keeping energy in the arms, reaching through the left fingertips, pressing into the back of the right hand. Take one more breath. Gently bring the left hand back underneath the shoulder for support. Pressing into the left hand. We'll unwind and open up towards the right again. Reach the fingertips up. And then release it back down. Second side, right hand roots to the ground. Reach the left arm out and up. Open up in the chest. And then bring the left hand underneath over towards the right. Left ear and shoulder touches the ground. And then option, start to reach the right hand up and forward. Now remember, you can always find the stretch seated, crossing the left arm over. Just a couple rounds of breath. Breathe into the sensation and soften on the exhales. And then bring the right hand back underneath the shoulder, pressing into the right hand to unwind. Reach the left arm up, and then release it back down. Come back into neutral tabletop position. Now reach the right leg back, keep the hips square, and then lift the right leg up. Holding here, belly pulled in. You can stay here, both hands on the ground, Or if you feel sturdy, left fingertips reach forward. Now find that strength in the left arm. Keep reaching. On an exhale, bring the elbow and knee into center, or just focus on drawing the knee in, belly pulled in. On the inhale, extending back out and reaching. Just a couple more. Move with control. Once again, moving with the breath. Energy reaching through the fingers and the toes. 2 more. One last one. Extend out, hold here, and then release the hand, release the knee. Take a moment, dog wagging its tail, gaze over the right shoulder towards the right hip. Back to center, gaze over the left towards the left hip. One more time, side to side. Come back to center. Start to extend the left leg back. Remember, left hip in line with the right, and then float the left leg up to about hip height. Feel the strength in the leg. You can stay here, or right hand reaches forward up at shoulder height. Find that long line of energy. Take a breath in, and exhale, elbow to knee, or just drawing the knee in. On the inhale, extending it back out. 4 more. Now notice the belly pulled in, keeping that core connection the entire time. We're here for 2 more. And one last one. Extend out, hold here, feel that energy. Release the hand, release the knee. This time, child's pose, knees wide, toes touch. Send the hips back towards the heels. Forehead rest down, arms extend out. And just allowing the hips to sink towards the heels. Remember, it's not about reaching the hips down, but it's about moving in that direction. And just take a moment of stillness. Just tuning in, what's going on in your practice today? Maybe you need something a little different than you thought. And even just noticing the waves of energy in class, the moments we feel energized, pushing ourselves. Noticing the moments where we slow down, we need to ease back. Come back into tabletop position. We'll move into downward facing dog. If that's not in your practice, feel free to work on some core by tucking the toes and then hovering the knees off the ground. Otherwise, tuck the toes under and lift the hips up and back for down dog. You can have a bend in the knees and just start to walk it out, bringing any movement in that feels good. Take a moment, notice the hands, make sure that you're distributing the weight into the finger pads. The shoulders are drawing down the back away from the ears, so they're not drawing towards the ears, they're drawing away. Notice how the back of the legs are feeling hamstrings and calves. And then come into stillness. You can have a soft bend in the knees. And what we're going to do is we're going to come forward into high plank. Now, if you're not doing down dog, move from tabletop, from the hands and knees, into high plank, and then back down. Otherwise, following me from downward facing dog, find that longer stance, maybe a bend in the knees, and then shifting forward into high plank. Shoulders come over the wrist, press the earth away. Long line of energy, belly pulled in, and then send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog or return to tabletop. 2 more times. Come into high plank. Make sure the hips aren't dipping down or sending up towards the sky. And then back into downward facing dog. 1 more time. This time we're going to hold here. Focus on building that upper body strength. Press the earth away. Reach the chest through the shoulders. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release knees to the ground, hips to the heels, child's pose. Take about 4 to 5 rounds of breath here. If it feels good, gently rock the forehead side to side, massage out any tension, stress, expectations. And then slowly press up, and taking your time, we're gonna find our way into standing. You can move through down dog or simply step up. Meeting and standing, bring the feet about hip width distance, release the arms down by the sides, shoulders soften away from the ears, and just take a moment, hands into heart center, press the palms together, close the eyes, and just return to the breath. Together, let's inhale. And an open mouth, audible exhale. Beautiful. Seal the lips, blink the eyes open, releasing the arms down by the sides. We'll move through our sun A, and we'll have a little fun with it, adding in some chair pose with eagle arms. All right, reach the arms overhead, palms face in. Feel the energy in the arms. So sometimes we move into a pose and we kind of just hang out there. There's not much energy. Really reach through the fingertips. Feel the strength in the arms. Imagine you're pressing something in between the hands. Gentle back bend. Cactus the arms, open across the chest. You're reaching and lifting up and then back. Bring it back through center, arms reach overhead. And then hands come into heart center, draw the energy in. Soften the knees and slide the hands down the thighs. We're gonna come into a halfway lift. You can lower down to the thighs or towards the shins, keeping that flat back, belly pulled in, crown of the head reaching forward. And then sweep the arms out and up. Start to straighten the legs fully, palms touch. And then hands come in through heart center. Reach the arms out and up, and we're gonna find eagle arms. Start by crossing the right arm underneath the left. Now remember, you can reach through the shoulders or cross at the forearms. Lift the elbows. You can stay here or to work more into the legs, chair. Send the hips back. Keep the heart lifted. Weight is in the heels, feeling the thighs and the glutes engage. Maybe sit a little deeper. And then release. Sweep the arms overhead. And then hands draw into heart center. Let's move through again. Release the arms down, expand up, arms reach overhead. Gentle back bend, cactus the arms, open across the collarbone, lift the chest. Reach the arms back overhead, and then hands come into heart center. Soft bend in the knees, hands slide down the thighs, keeping the flat back, lowering halfway or a little less. Shoulder blades kiss together, tailbone lengthens back, and belly pulls in to protect the lower back. And then sweep the arms out and up. Belly pulled in, palms touch. Hands come into heart center, draw the energy in. All right, release the arms, sweep them out and up. Eagle arms on the second side. So this time, the left arm is gonna cross underneath. Remember, you can grab the shoulders or cross at the forearms, your choice. Stay here or send the weight back into the heels, sit low like you're sitting into a tiny chair behind you, keeping the chest lifted, spine long. And then release, sweep the arms out and up. And then hands come into heart center, pause here, breath in, breath out. One final time, arms down, inhale, expanding up. Exhale, cactus the arms, open the heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands into heart center. Bend into the knees, slide the hands down the thighs. Find your layer, flat back. Belly pulled in, back the neck long. Sweep the arms out and up. Palms touch at the top. Sweep the right arm underneath the left. Find your layer. And then sit the hips back into a chair. Hold here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs and the arms out and up. We're gonna do it one more time to balance out the two sides. This time, sweep the left arm underneath. Find eagle arms or grab the shoulders. Last time, sit the hips back. Lift the elbows up to shoulder height. We're here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, inhale, expand up. Exhale, hands into heart center, pause here. Let's take a deep inhale. Audible exhale. Blink the eyes open. Release the arms down by the sides. We're gonna move into warrior one. So just facing the top of your mat. Start with the right foot forward and then stepping the left foot back. Left toes point towards that top left corner. And just find what feels stable for you. So I like to have a little bit wider of a stance or distance between the legs, kind of like I'm on railroad tracks. Otherwise, the feet are a little bit more like a tightrope. And just bring the hands to the hips and start to bend into the front knee. Focusing on drawing the right hip back, the left hip forward, belly pulled in. Nice, and then find cactus arms, elbows in line with shoulders. Feel opening across the chest. Just bring some movement in. So as you straighten the front leg, you're gonna draw the elbows in. And then as you bend back into the front knee, you're gonna open the elbows back out. Couple more. Straighten and draw in. And then exhale, bend into the knee and open. Let's do 2 more. Feel the strength in the arms. Actively engage the muscles. 1 more. And this time we're gonna hold here. Take a full breath. And then bring the hands into heart center, straighten the legs, take your time. Just slowly step it forward. You can shake it out And we're just gonna go straight into the second side. Left leg is forward, stepping the right leg back, right toes towards that top right corner. Find the distance that feels best for you. Making sure that the hip bones can go forward. We're not opening them up towards the side. Hands to the hips and just start to bend into the front knee. Feel like you're pressing into that back edge of the right foot. And this time, reach the arms overhead. Palms face in, shoulders relax down the back. And then this time, as we straighten the front leg, you're gonna open the arms out to shoulder height. And as we bend into the front knee, reach the arms back overhead. Couple more. Finding that coordination. Nice, 2 more. And one last one. And we're gonna hold here, take another round of breath. Hands come into heart center, straighten the leg. Just take your time, step it forward, shake it out, let it go. So we're gonna play around a little bit today, and we're gonna work into eagle pose. Now, what I'm gonna recommend is playing around with using your blocks. Now, if you don't have any blocks, maybe you take a stack of books and make it nice and thick like a block is. And I'm just gonna place them to my left side to start out. And a couple different options. If you're still working on your balance, then what I want you to be doing is coming into chair and then option to find eagle arms. So working on developing strength in the legs, finding some opening in the shoulders, the back. Now, if you want to play around a little bit and work on some balancing, you can always step by a wall for a little added support. And what we're going to do is using our blocks. So normally when they teach eagle pose in class is you start to wrap the foot and the toes start to come around the ankle. And that can be a little challenging for a lot of us, and it may bother our knees. And so what I'm going to recommend is practicing by placing the foot on the block. So you're still able to squeeze the thighs together, but it's making it more accessible. So what we're gonna do is release the arms down by the sides and just take a nice breath in and a deep breath out. Now, if you're ready, sit into chair if that's where you're going. Otherwise, bring the hands to the heart center for right now and just start to bend into the knees. Now the weight's going to come into the left foot. That's where your weight is. And then just draw the right toes up and over towards that first block. So you'll notice the right thigh is crossing over the left. Maybe you start to squeeze the thighs. Now if that feels easy, maybe you reach it a little further back towards that second block. And that's gonna find a little bit more compression. So find what feels best for you. And then taking the right arm underneath the left, either grab the shoulders or start to wrap the forearms, lifting the elbow. So once you're there, just take about 3 to 4 rounds of breath. You'll probably feel your left glute working. Keep the heart lifted. So we're not leaning forward. We're keeping the shoulders over the hips. Take one more breath. And then gently release. Nice and slow. Just unwind the way that you came in. Reach the arms overhead. And then hands come into heart center. And just take a moment. Nice big breath in. And big breath out. Beautiful, eyes open, release the arms down. Now take a moment, maybe you're like, need to take a step back, or maybe you wanna try to go a little further. I'm gonna take the blocks, placing them to the right side now. Feet hip-width distance. Remember, you can sit back into chair, focusing on building that strength in the lower body. And root down through the right foot. Feel the weight into the right foot, right glute engaged. Bring the hands to heart center. Just start to bend into the knees, and then taking the left toes, touch them to the block. Just see how it feels to have the weight in the right foot. Make sure the knees feel okay and that the chest can stay lifted. Maybe you walk the toes a little further back, squeezing the thighs even closer together. And then when you're ready with the arms, this time the left arm crosses underneath. Either grab shoulders or start to wrap the arms, lifting the elbows up, holding here, squeezing the thighs, squeezing the arms. Now it's going to help to focus on one point in front of you. Let's take one more breath. Gently release with control. Both feet back to the ground. Inhale, expand up. Exhale, hands come into heart center. And just take a moment here. Eyes closed. Feel both feet rooted on the ground. Just recognize that whatever you are able to do in your practice is enough. Simply showing up to your mat is the hardest part, and that's what you did. Let's take a deep inhale. Cleansing exhale. Eyes open, arms release. Take a moment, shake it out. You can place the blocks over to the side. And we're gonna come down onto our mat again, and we're gonna lower down onto the belly. So working on some strength in the back. All right, so take your time, find your way onto your belly, however it's easiest for you to get down there. All right, and once you're there, zip the legs together. We'll come into baby cobra, hands underneath the shoulders, elbows in like cricket arms, gaze down. On your inhale, head, chest, shoulders lifts up. Back of the neck is long. Little weight in the hands and keep breathing. Press into the tops of the feet, into the thigh bones. Take one more breath. And just slowly release. Stack the hands, rest the forehead. Release the heels. About 3 to 4 rounds of breath here. Feel the rise and fall of the belly breath. And then take the legs, this time bring the legs hip-width distance, and then bring the arms back, palms facing down. Now, 2 options, you can lift the upper body and the arms. Second option is to lift the upper body, arms, and the legs. On your next inhale, lift up, upper body, arms. Back of the neck is long. Weight is in the pelvis, the low belly. All right, make sure that there's no pain in the lower back. It's less about how high you get and more about that reach and extension. Maybe the legs draw up as well. But really focusing on the strength in the upper back. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Release, hands down, forehead down. 3 to 4 rounds of breath. Just finding that moment of letting go, of ease. Take your time, gently press yourself up. And we're going to find our way all the way down onto our backs, slowing our practice back down. Lower all the way down, bring the feet to the ground. Hip width distance, heels in towards the glutes, arms down by the sides. Bridge pose. When you're ready, press into the feet, tuck, curl, lift the hips up towards the sky. Holding here, squeeze the glutes, activate the thighs and core. Option, maybe you interlace the hands together, shimmy the shoulders underneath. Just take 2 more rounds of breath. Relax the muscles in the face and in the throat. And then gently release. Slowly lower down, 1 vertebrae at a time, tailbone last to touch. Just take a moment, hug the knees in, give them a little squeeze, gently rock it out. And then release the feet to the ground, supine figure 4. Right ankle to left thigh, gently pressing the right knee forward. So you can stay there or start to float the left leg up. Interlacing hands behind the left thigh. Take about 5 rounds of breath. Breathing into the outer right hip and glute. Keeping it active, the right knee pressing forward. If the left leg is lifted, drawing the left thigh closer in. And then gently release, switch it out. Left ankle to the right thigh, knee pressing forward. Stay there or start to float the right leg. Hands interlaced behind the thigh. You may notice that there's differences between the 2 sides. And just focusing in on the present moment. Breathing here, full deep inhales and full deep exhales. And then gently release. We'll come into an easy twist. Drop the knees to the left, scoot the hips towards the right. And then you can cactus the arms or straight out at shoulder height. Shoulders stay heavy. Just gently wringing out the body, rejuvenating the spine, and slowing down your practice. Take your time, slowly release. Switch out the sides, knees drop towards the right, scoot the hips towards the left. Letting go of effort, so we're not forcing the twist. We're just using gravity, the weight of our body, adding in blankets or blocks when needed. Come back through center. Draw the knees in, give them a final squeeze. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, final Shavasana. Get comfortable, take up space. And just finding stillness in the body, in the mind. Any thoughts, ideas, stories simply arising and floating on by. Give yourself these last few moments on your mat, and I'll guide you out when it's time. When you're ready, deepen your breath. Bring small movements into the body. Just slowly reawakening, arms overhead. And when you're ready, just gently rolling over to one side and slowly pressing up to a comfortable seat. Once you're there, sit tall, eyes closed. Bring the hands to heart center. And just taking one last moment to yourself. Take a deep inhale. And an open mouth exhale. Gently bowing forward from my heart to yours. Namaste. Thank you for showing up to your mat today and practicing with me. Hope to see you on the mat again soon.